In this video, I'm gonna give you the 10 rules for sales reps that if you apply right now, you're gonna make way more money. Most of these rules, guys, I learned by taking thousands of personal sales calls myself, and a lot of these rules I learned building onecallclosers.com, which we have now taken over 250,000 sales calls and done over $200 million in revenue working with some of the biggest influencers on the planet. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. Rule number one is listen more and talk less. One of the biggest misconceptions in sales is that in order to convince somebody to buy or persuade somebody to buy, I need to talk more as a sales rep. And I think the reason why sales reps believe this is because they think that persuading is talking, where in fact, the opposite is true, guys. In order to persuade more, you listen more and you ask better questions, because better questions get better responses. Persuading is getting the prospect to tell you exactly why they want to change, exactly why your solution is going to work for them, exactly why right now is the best time to take action. And the only way you can get these answers is by asking questions. In fact, there's a direct correlation between the amount of time that you're talking as a sales rep and the amount of deals that you're gonna close. If you want to close more deals in a faster amount of time, talk less. Rule number two, guys, activity drives results, not learning. Oftentimes, when you're new to the game, you believe that you need to listen to more sales calls. You need to listen to more podcasts and read more books. But what I'll tell you guys is, from personal experience, the way you're gonna get better way faster is by having more activity. I had a sales manager come up to me one time and he told me this key phrase. He said, "Rich, let me see your activity, because your activity shows the real story." The more activity you guys have in sales, the more you will close. And what are those activities? It's getting on the phone with potential customers. It's following up with potential customers. The more you focus on those activities and the more of that you're doing throughout the day, the more deals you will close and the better you will get. In fact, you're going to get a lot better quicker by doing more activity, by getting on the phone more, than reading a book or listening to a podcast. You need the sets and reps, so follow the golden rule. More activity. Rule number three, guys, is sell change before you sell your solution. You see, there's two sales that need to occur in a given conversation. The first sale is you need to sell the prospect on change, because if the prospect is not ready to change, then there's no reason to pitch your solution. And that's exactly why we have the discovery portion of the call. The discovery is where the prospect needs to give you the information you need to convince you that, dude, where I'm at in life is not where I want to be, and right now is the time for change. If you don't sell change before selling your solution doesn't matter. Which leads me to rule number four, guys, is go all in or get out. Early in my sales career, I figured this one out. Sales is not something that you can just dip your feet into and hope that it works out. In fact, it's either you're all in or you're all out. And for way too long in my sales career, guys, I tried to kind of play the mediocre part. Like, I wanted to make sales and make a lot of money, but then I also wanted to like kind of kick back and not go all in. And what I quickly realized is that unless you're willing to go all in on this game, you're going to get beat down so hard that it just won't be worth it. So if you're really looking to make a lot of money, if you're really looking to get good at sales and take your career and your financial success to the next level, it's all about going all in. What does that look like? It means that you need to take this seriously, right? You treat it as a 9-to-5 job, right? Most sales reps don't treat it as a 9-to-5 because you get to make your own schedule. So some days you show up earlier, some days you start later, some days you quit earlier, some days you're like, I'm just not going to work today. And that's not what professional sales reps do that absolutely crush it. They treat it as an actual job where you clock in, you clock out, and you treat this profession seriously. You put in the hours, you go all in, you learn the skill set, and the more you do that, the better you'll get faster and you won't burn out. The reason why you burn out, guys, is not because you're doing too much activity. It's because you're doing the busy work, but you're not doing the work that matters to get you the sales. And then because you're not getting the sales, you're burning out. Rule number five, guys, is nobody cares about you. It's all about the prospect. Nobody cares about your company. Nobody cares about your solution. Nobody cares about your features and your benefits. Guys, what people care about is how are you going to give me what I want on this call so tomorrow my life is better. It's all about the prospect. So that means stop talking about yourself. Stop talking about your customers. Stop talking about the people that you've worked for. Stop talking about your competitors. Stop talking about your solutions. Talk about how you are going to solve this person's problem with your solution specifically and how their life is going to look better afterwards. Rule number 6, never tell something that you can show. Guys, if you have something that you can show the prospect that gives them proof of what you're saying, you should always show it. Right? So that means if you're on a Zoom call, you'd pull up your stuff, you'd show them the documentation, you would show them the testimonials, you would show them the course platform, you would show them the done for you solutions. If you can show it, never tell it. This lesson has made me a ton of money in sales. And right now, if you were to look at your sales process, there's probably things that you can show instead of just telling that would make you a lot more money. Rule number 7, it needs to make emotional sense before it makes logical sense. Guys, you've probably heard of the term future pacing, right? To get somebody certain about, hey, if I had a solution to my problem, my life would look better. And what does that life look like? I would be fitter. I'd have more money. I'd have more status. I would, my marriage would be better, right? Unless somebody feels emotionally secure in making a decision, the logical doesn't matter. So when you're having a conversation with the prospect, you need them to envision with you that ideal future. You need them to future pace. You need them to see that, wow, my life could look like X. And that is what I call making emotional sense. And if you do that correctly, then you use logic to have the prospect say, that makes sense. Make it make emotional sense before it makes logical sense. Copy before you innovate. If you're a new rep or if you're in sales, the way you're going to get better is by finding the number one guy in the company or the number one girl in the company and copying what they do. I have done this in every area of sales, in every area of business, in every area of life. I find somebody doing the thing at the very highest level and then I copy. And if I copy right, I will produce similar results. So if you're in sales, you find the number one guy, you copy what they do until you're producing the same type of results. And then to get beyond that, you might have to start innovating, getting a little bit creative with different solutions, but you don't innovate until you copy. Take away before you add. Oftentimes what I see closers doing is they think they should add this to the pitch. They should add this to the discovery, add this to the intro, add this to the close, where in fact, the opposite is usually true. The reason why most people are losing deals is not because of what they're not doing, it's because of what they're doing. Right? So if you just take away the doing, then you'll automatically close more deals. Less is more. Simple scales, complexity fails. And this lesson has been true over and over again in my sales career. Instead of adding, figure out where in your conversation you can stop talking. You can take away that phrase, take away that sentence, take away that pause, take away those nonchalant ums and oohs and all the filler words that we say. Those are usually the things that are hindering your sales more than trying to add the next tactic or strategy into your sales conversation. Down below, you can join the Closers Network. It's a free group. We have over 10,000 members in there that are all learning high ticket sales, getting better. We have 5 days a week of free coaching calls, free courses, free classrooms. You can click the link down below to join us. And for that, Rich is out.